maybe things we all had and it becomes back to where we're in. Then you're not, I feel like you don't want this to become a habit. You want it to just, in case something happens where they're overwhelmed, and one will get overlooked. So maybe put in, they can have an Excel student one time.
Discretion. So just in case you guys aren't, any kind of correcting, and the way, okay, the main process, the way it would say it is that somebody would ask for reimbursement and get prior approval. Once they go on the trip and spend the money, they complete a reimbursement voucher on campus line. And then once all 4 of their EO members sign it, it goes to Tom, the administrative director. Once he signs off of it, it goes to my dashboard. Once I sign off on it, it goes to Gina and Denise for processing. So that's the same process as for a voucher pretty much as an other case. That's just like one part of it. And the idea of limiting it, I think that's also a bad idea, but it gets to the point where there's so many different things to keep track of. It's really hard for one person or even like with like 6 extra assistants or whatever to manage that. And I don't see where it entirely because you're right, I don't want to put that to get common insurance, but at the same time, the students are aware that, they're adults, it's their choice. Technically, they signed off on the financial bylaws already, so they should be aware of it. Realistically, that's not how it works for me. But, if they're not aware that if they don't get prior approved, nobody should be expecting to get reimbursed for something from a different organization if they get prior approval for it.
See that the treasurer will play, whoever the treasurer in the future and currently would like to come back to it. So what they put down to the thing that they know is a common occurrence, correct?
Yeah, so as a treasurer currently, I don't see an issue with them either getting prior approval or not. Other than if they have to ask for prior approval, it helps to ensure that they're not going to be out money, they're not going to be out money. So if the club goes and spends $1,000 on t-shirts and their budget's only $1,000 and their technical limit for bylaws is $100, no matter what, they would be able to be reimbursed that, but they have to go through the prior approval process. I would have told them in advance before they spent the money. So it's, that's the reason why I think the rule was originally made. But at the same time, I think the rule has hurt students as a whole more this year than it's helpful.
So did Julia, is it previously
Documented. It requires documented prior approval. So the way I currently do that, I do it kind of the way that the treasurer did 2 years ago, Alan Abraham. So you have the reimbursement request form as well, and because you have to print out that or whatever, so mine is just email. So then both parties have a copy, the documented copy of what happened. So they fill out the Excel sheet, submit it to me, and then I'll email them back with an approval or with further questions. So that's why it's faster and it's documented, and both people have records of everything. So we didn't change anything in food or gifts or rewards. In apparel, we did add one thing. So the only section we added was for performance wear to accommodate the new definition that we had added in. So item number 2 is new. Section 10.3 apparel. Section 10.3 apparel, and then go down to number 2. So there, it basically says the same thing as the line above it, except for the switches apparel with performance wear. So it currently states clubs, organizations may spend no more than $1,000 or 10% of their USG budget, whichever amount is less on performance wear. So it just helps ensure that one group isn't spending all their money on costumes, especially since costumes might not be able to be reused as much. That's a lot sensitive on the
Just for wording, the $10,000 for is not in addition, is it in addition to the $1,000 in performance for, or is
I kept them separate.
it?
So like you could get like $1,000, if you have like a $10,000 budget or higher, you could, if you're at $1,000 for projects, and then still be able to afford to get different costumes and stuff for your club.
Any other questions on that?
And I'm scrolling down past off kind of quick forms. I my services and kind of like broadcasting materials kind of. I just added I just kind of put the public broadcast materials under multimedia so it's kind of relate a little bit. I was trying to keep everything for media services right in one area, that way when those types of post organizations are looking through the form, everything that they need is right there. And then the section below that, 10.6, says contracts. That section is entirely new. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get rid of the old Contract Reform Act. Because I think that is something that's part of that's fiscally related, and instead of having two different documents, I don't combine it into one. So I did take different pieces and parts of that, certain parts were reworded and added it in here. So it currently reads, for people who don't have a copy, part 1 that says USG charter and the USG president shall sign on all contracts on behalf of USG departments, agencies, and funded organizations affecting assets, inventory, and monies of USG. They may sign without Senate approval only if the funds for the purposes have already been appropriated by law. So the only difference between that and the Contract Reform Act is that it makes it so that the USG charter is also signing off on things, because there are a couple instances where a contract was signed off on the president, and then the USG charter wasn't aware that that was signed off on. So this way, this ensures that the charter is aware of it and that the president is aware of it. I think that having two signatories instead of one is valid too, with just having like one person doing everything. So that was that part of it, and it says the part that I think that's really important, that is kept constant as well, is that they can't sign off on anything if the appropriation wasn't already given by you guys. So any appropriation that's made, so like the budget and all of that, the subsections, you guys are the ones that do those. And then continuing, part A, it says USG treasurer shall sign on all contracts on behalf of USG funded organizations affecting assets inventory. Basically the same thing, except it took out agencies, departments, and everything. One thing I would like to note is that there is an error. So part 1, where it says, President shall sign all contracts on behalf of USG departments, agencies, and other organizations. Currently, the USG treasurer does not sign, the USG president does not sign off on clubs and organizations just because there's so many that go through. So it might be good to keep it that way just for the interest of time for clubs and organizations. But again, having two signatories have records. So that's something that you guys kind of need to make a choice with, so that it's not contradicting it. The act isn't contradicting itself. So either we could remove part A, or we could remove and funded clubs and organizations from section 1, and then it would fit. Okay. So in section 1, where it says
10.6.
Yeah, 10.6. Sorry, section 10.6, part 1. It says the USG treasurer and the USG president shall sign all contracts on behalf of USG departments, agencies, and funded organizations. So we could take out the and funded organizations and keep the part that's underneath it labeled A, or we could get rid of A and keep the funded organizations section there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you kept it there, would the USG president also have to sign off on each club individually?
Yeah, so a lot of clubs have different contracted services, either speakers, coaches, or they'll want to bring in like a popcorn machine or something like that. And all of those require a signature for the contract. So currently I'm the one that signs off on those. And if part one is left as it is, then Gary would also be, the USG president would also be signing off on that. So the only difference it really makes is that, instead of having one person to sign, you also have to wait for a second person to sign. A lot of times, things are done in the last minute for folks, so that makes it one. But it's also good because it ensures that two people know about the contracts that are going.
So right now, the two are contradicting.
Okay.
I'm a fan of having the conversation around the two street. But the other one is, I don't know what the president is. Take a motion.
I'm just wondering, like, would it slow down the process for clubs to come out?
Probably, yeah, I think there's already people there when we kind of signs up. I mean, it's been that way, that's been kept pretty good. And as long as the president knows about everything that's going on, they're able to account for it. Yeah, so like Anthony said, it's not just myself that's reviewing every contract, Anthony and Tom also sign off on it.
Senator Blaise Brown. Point of order. Senator Lula.
Yes.
Any other questions, any motions?
I move to replace point one and point six with, subcommittee A.
Consider something else, isn't it?
Second?
Basically just replacing that for department.
So I just want to clarify the wording of it. Is to remove section one and replace section one with subsection one. So that section one would now read, the USG treasurer shall sign all contracts on behalf of USG fund organizations affecting assets, inventory, and loans of USG without Senate approval, or the funds for the purposes have already been appropriated. Correct. It was seconded by Senator Robinson. Is there any debate?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, Senator.
Would there be anything that happens to the Burlington agencies?
So by excluding that in there, it doesn't define who is the signatory for it, so technically it sign off on it. There's a subsection of what the aggregate on that was recommended by Dr. Abraham on current executive order though, down at the bottom, but it says that, yeah, part four, it says that I have to be ready anyway, but, yeah. It might be a better idea, instead of replacing part one with A, is to remove from part one just have the organizations. That might be a simple.
Is there any other debate? Seeing none, we'll go on to a roll call. So on the motion to, actually, you said this is funny?
No.
Well, on the, yes, clarify.
Instead of replacing replacing one with A, it's just take out from part one funded organizations.
Okay, so do we want to remove this motion and make that?
Well,
I'll move that. Reword.
Do you want to amend your motion?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I still have to.
Yeah. Well, on the prior motion,
The one that's going on now, that I'm also doing.
so on his first motion, you have a question, what's up?
So if you're replacing something in one, are you keeping that it has to be signed by the treasurer and the president, or just the president?
So we'll see how you amend. PPT comment.
Yeah, I was going to amend it to, rather than they were going to have the strike funded organizations.
So put it in full time.
The USG treasurer and USG president shall sign all contracts made with USG departments and agencies affecting assets and inventory and monies of the USG. They may sign without Senate approval only if funds for the purpose of already been appropriated by law.
Keep it subsection. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Toledo.
Oh, I'm still confused.
So,
So now are you saying that the president and the treasurer sign off on, like,
No, so.
okay, got it, okay.
this is right. Is there any debate? Seeing none, we will move to a roll call. Motion to strike from, section 10.6, subsection 1, form of organization. Subset reads, the USG treasurer and the USG president shall sign all contracts on behalf of USG departments, agencies, and affecting assets, inventory, and loans of the USG. They will sign without signature only if funds for the purposes have already been appropriated by law.
Senator Blazin Brown. Senator Barat. Senator Chesley. Senator DiVirgilio.
Yes.
Senator Fang. Senator Ippolito.
Aye.
Senator Zhang.
Yes.
Senator Jordan Arnett.
Yes.
Senator Kumar.
Yes.
Senator Lamborghino.
Aye.
Senator Neely. Senator Meow.
Yes.
Senator Peterson. PPT Pomeroy.
Aye.
Senator Scomial. Senator Said. Senator Walsh. Senator Wilkinson.
Yes.
Senator Williams.
With a vote of 19-1-0, the motion passes. Moving on.
So then, 10.6 contracts, subsection 2 says USG may not enter into any contracts that exceed 1 fiscal year. That's not currently a rule anywhere, but, I think it's a good one to have because I don't think that this administration should be locking in future administrations into certain commitments, when they don't really have a standing order at that point. They might not. And then the other thing is too, we're not guaranteed to have to see next year, so every other year we need to vote. So it's not really responsible on our end to be entering into contracts that we might not be able to actually fulfill. Part 3, all contracts must be fully executed prior to services being rendered. That came from the original act as well. 4, individuals who enter a contract or agreement without government approval from the USG shall be fully responsible for meeting all requirements. USG will not pay for any services. This is just saying what I already did in the executive order earlier on last semester. So it's basically just to make sure that clubs aren't signing us into a contract without us knowing about it, and then us being told you owe us $50,000 for the agreement. So that's a fix to that. And then I shifted, the next item I did was, I shifted coaching services so that it was under contracted services, just so that they knew that anything that applied to their contract also applies to the coaches and get coach.
President Carr.
Would the contract situation affect our teacher contract?
Can you repeat that?
Any contracts, just to clarify the concept of that, any contract, it just means that we won't enter into any new contracts. So if there were any of.
We don't have a contract with Ludacris, that was sarcasm.
Administrative Director Kerr.
The one contract paper that I picked up last year is the copy.
Do they have to be 3 years?
That's what we just signed, but typically they do use 3 years. If you cut it to 1 year, it would be more expensive. So that is a very rare case. So I don't know how you want to play that, but I don't see us having a copy of the contract on the ground. I'll read it if you're right.
Senator Blazin Brown.
How are we able to write an exception? Special case will provide large vote or something like that?
Overridden by the Senate or something?
Something, you get what I mean, like a big control switch.
And you want to make that in form of a motion?
I'm just trying to have a conversation like right now about it, because I don't know necessarily.
I think it's another one that's like.
Administrative Director. I'm sorry, but you can't just do that. Senator Neely.
More information about the.
I mean, this is standard standard thing, we just want to ask someone. I can reach out to contractors with the standard thing that we use for any entity that is part of the state or. Yeah, so we'll be happy.
Wait, can you answer your comment?
And the comment I was gonna make, I believe CSA, maybe, or any of, I think CSA if your contract or USG that.
I want to get rid of that.
Those are exceptions.
Yeah, I think
Senator Elizabeth.
sorry, I think the bigger point maybe is that, yeah, we said we have it, are we? Yeah, sorry, if we have instances where we have a multi-year contract that's necessary, are we crippling ourselves down the line?
You're not,
And would we-
a copier isn't going to cripple your street.
Well, if we, correct if I'm wrong, we don't student activities, we don't.
Correct.
I mean, obviously, this is like some
So,
weird
like,
contingency.
Okay, so if we have a contract with something once a year, maybe done in a 5 year or something, where it's like a 5-year agreement, and next year the rest of the like connectivity doesn't pass. Then we have no way to it, and we could technically be sued. So risk of being sued as well is depending on the organization we're working on, the $20 to be committed, but those put the organization at risk. Right?
Yes, depends on the contract is, even if we were to be voted, not mandatory, there would be some revenue to be mandatory. Thus, the things that are on contract would be high on the priority list of items that we have.
So we do have a 5%, contingency. 5% like the contingency fund that's capped, that's not shown in the overall budget. So that would be what is used to pay off contracts. Is it okay then?
I almost choked in it, sorry.
Well, yeah, so we do have that contingency to be there to help protect it, but at the same time, like, if we were contract always in there, but we do have like a large contract, like if we were to enter into one of those FSA for some revenues, like that's $225,000 each year. And so if that was to be 5 or 10 years contract, that would be so I
Seems
think,
like we're doing.
yeah, so for the partners, like, something like that is a significant difference between, 1 year and a 3-year contract.
So I don't know if they do 1 year contract. And beyond the top there, one contract that we'll have to keep in mind next year will be the one we're doing $900 per quarter. The other idea, I don't know how it's going to work, but I know that the USG contract is up next year. I'm not sure which office it's on, but that's another one that could potentially be.
Yeah, that's not one that we signed in the past. But that's the one that I was kind of worried about.
Just so, Senator.
Will we be able to word this such that any contracts below a fixed dollar minimum would not be signed without prior approval from the Senate? For instance, okay. Give me a second.
I'll come back to you, there's other people who speak to this. Senator DiMaggio, your hand up earlier? Senator Peterson, was that not an issue? I will back. Is there any other discussion? Is everybody on the same page? Aye. I just have to set the standards until Senator Peterson comes to the motion. There's no objections. Just call it back to order. Senator Guido?
I move to amend section 10.6.2 such that it reads, USG may not enter into any contracts that exceed one fiscal year in excess of $1,000.
Is there a second? Hold on, is there a second? We can go into discussion after. Is there a second? Seeing none, roll.
Okay, so instead of maybe $1,000, we usually sign a contract for $1,000, you might want to increase the.
So like,
Give us some just.
So if you were to enter into a contract with like approximately, I haven't seen very good contracts for it, but it's usually like the local. So let's say we entered, except for where a contract is for $20,000 like the 5 years.
What you can do is bring it back to the Senate, saying if there is a contract that requires more than 1 year, it would be.
Oh, that was gonna be someday.
Maybe have it read instead of having the additional section, have it read USG may not enter into any contracts that exceed 1 fiscal year without Senate approval.
So move.
Is there a second? Second, let me follow up. Is there any debate? What? Can you, is there any debate? Move on to roll call. On the motion to amend, section 10.6, subsection 2, so that it reads, USG may not enter into any contracts that exceed 1 fiscal year without Senate approval.
Senator Blazin Brown.
Aye.
Senator Barat.
Yes.
Senator Cheslak.
Yes.
Senator DiVirgilio. Senator Fang. Senator Polito.
Aye.
Senator Jang. Senator Jordan Arnett.
Yes.
Senator Kumar.
Yes.
Senator Lamborghino.
Aye.
Senator Mealy. Senator Meow. Senator Peterson.
Yes.
Senator Pomeroy. Excuse me, PPT Pomeroy. Senator Scomial. Senator Said.
Yes.
Senator Walsh.
Yes.
Senator Wilkinson.
Yes.
Senator Williams.
Senator Williams, please do. Aye. What was your? Aye. With the motion of 1900, motion passes. We'll be back to you,
So moving into section 10.7, I added in subsection 10.7 co-sponsorships. It's just like copy and paste it, just so that co-sponsorships are like, I haven't seen a single one where it's off campus. So I'm trying to just so it's a little bit easier to allow them to do it, because a lot of them aren't aware of what sponsorship is. And from there, those are the only changes that I made.
If I may interject, I'm sorry. On the second to last motion to strike funding organizations, the vote is 18-1-0.
So those were all the changes that were made.
Yes, Senator Polito.
I had a few miscellaneous changes I previously discussed with Treasurer Michelle that were not properly reflected in this document. I'd like to just have them done here.
We'll do this.
Section 5.1C, Roman numeral 6.
Oh, let's get it.
Take your time.
Section 5.1.
Sub C, Roman numeral 6.
Section 5.1. Okay. Is everybody there?
I'm working on it.
Senator Polito, you said section 5.1, subsection C, Roman numeral 6.
Yeah, it reads the full revisions process. I'll follow the same method. Is that it?
Sounds right to me. I'm trying to get there myself.
It's on page 12 of the document. Page 12.
I'm looking at an online copy, if you downloaded it, and like, you can look at
Okay? What was that? Oh, no. I thought you said something, sorry. So back
It
to.
currently reads the fall revisions process shall follow the same method outlined in section 106 budget process.
Okay.
Seeing as how the first two digits were removed in this version, it should read section 6, not section 106.
Okay. Is that
So moved.
seconded by trustee Conway, is that friendly? Okay, so that was striking, sorry, section, to read what?
Just section 6, budget
Section
process.
six. Okay. Moving on.
In section 7.1.3 on the, 7.1C on the following page,
Mhm.
it reads, the treasurer shall hire and terminate assistants to the treasurer in compliance with Title 5 of the USG code.
Okay,
That area is now Title 4 of the USG code.
very good. So a second, seconded by Senator Conway. Conway?
In section 11,
Just 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Section what?
11, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but,
No, it's fine.
that first C should be a 1.
Let's get there. Yes.
Section 11, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, fundraising, it's C moves pertaining to fundraising. A, 1 something.
One, I assume one.
Yeah.
Second, seconded by trustee Conway, is that friendly?
Friendly.
Man, great job. No, really, good job.
Under that same section, 11.2, off-campus accounts,
Mm-hmm.
I would think we would also want to keep Stony Brook University's names off the public bank accounts. Perhaps Catherine or Anthony could chime in on that.
Can you repeat it?
Currently, neither undergraduate student government's names shall be used by a public organization establishing an off-campus account. I would think Stony Brook University should be inserted in there too.
I would be careful with that, that whole section, I'm actually reading the Dr. Samantha about to really go over. So our club currently have, what's called the FSA account.
Okay.
There's a whole other section that discusses that.
Withdraw.
Yeah. Just so that everybody is aware, there's another set of financial bylaws that I am looking to have, changed for next year. There's a lot of different changes in that, that I didn't want implemented for the rest of this year, just because I want folks to be able to utilize their budget and measure that was given to them last year. So I didn't want to change a lot of the company rules or anything like that. But I am looking to revise it so it comes into the back.
Revising as it stands right now, we are in compliance with the law. This is as it stands, in section 2.
It works so far. I think Anthony might do another.
Would it be responsible to pass this? Is it legal with that wording or? Anthony?
I'm good about that.
You got it.
Whether or not, yeah.
I just asked the Senate to sanity if there's no objections. Yeah.
So it's for the record, though, if it is a university policy where clubs can use Stony Brook's name, that will be stated somewhere. So it might not, you might not necessarily have that in here. It's safe to have it, it's for it, so it is, it has already.
Feel free to talk amongst yourselves while we're.
No.
It's a live stream. Well, technically, I'm doing it. No one.
Good. Nice. Hold on.
Page.
On the U-book?
U-book.
Like / Stony Brook or?
I'm just gonna pause the podcast for a minute.